the door up, pulled down. He's on the case, he's going to protect this town. He'll investigate, through the clues he'll call. There's just one thing, this world ain't his home. He's an alien, he's out pounding the beat. A great alien, he works the city streets. A space alien, he isn't going to retreat. Yeah, he's an alien, an alien in an old crew. An alien in a cold crew. This is Noir.
Critical blast logistics, getting it done, getting it there. Critical blast logistics, getting it done, getting it there. The world has got you down, a smile on your brow. Put a little madness in your life. If life makes you unashamed and comics are your estate, put a little madness in your life. Don't give your mind a cleanse. Tune in with pops and friends. Just turn on your Roku box and then put a little madness in your life. Put a little madness in your life. Yeah, yeah. Put a little madness in your life. At a cursed crossroads where souls collide, see the prince of darkness, see the prince of lies, while the world lies sleeping and the moon's aglow. There you may meet with the devil, you know. When your heart is quaking and your soul can't rest, open up the pages of the devil you know best. People face their demons as each tale unfolds, but the devil's in the details, and their fate's been sold. Hear their fate's been sold, and they're lost to hell. That's the deal you have to make with the devil you know well. It's a Critical Blast podcast.
with our special guest, Tony James.
Hey,
Tony, welcome to the show, man.
thanks for having me back.
Glad to. Anytime. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. I think you've got an interesting campaign here.
Thank you.
That
Yeah.
people should be looking at.
Yes, most definitely for sure. It is quite expensive to make. But yeah, we were Star Noir. We were successful on Kickstarter. And then we did a second chance campaign on Indiegogo that was also successful. And then we raised more money for the second book on Kickstarter. And now here we are again for the second chance campaign back on Indiegogo.
And folks, if you're wondering how to find that campaign, apparently there were two of them, or because I got confused apparently because I pulled up one that was different than the one you sent me.
Oh,
And-
it's yeah. It's this is the second book. We have the first book was like in demand for the past year. And now we just
Okay.
launched the second one. Yep.
What threw me was that they were both at the same dollar value, but
Yeah.
had different titles. So
Yeah.
I will present here the actual one we want to drive you to, and folks, the link to this will be right under the video. Hope it's the right one. If it takes you somewhere else, let me know.
Oh, yep. That's it.
It should take you. Well, yeah, but this is the link you gave me that I'm
Okay.
sharing. I've got a different link in the actual YouTube description.
Okay.
So, folks, if it doesn't take you to Star Noir Book 2 Second Chance Campaign, hit me up in the chat. Let me know, and then you just have to look for it because you'll be screwed. So, but tell me, tell the new people, tell the new people what the catch is here. What's the plot? Not ish. The plot ish. Why they want to be interested in this?
Okay, so the plot ish. This is a 1940s noir comic. It is about it's about a 1940s homicide detective named Alan Miller. Alan Miller. And he teams up with this gray alien to stop a shapeshifter who is killing LAPD officers in Central Station. This is LA Noir meets the X-Files. There are 6 books in our murder mystery. We have successfully funded the first 2 books on Kickstarter, and now I'm doing the second chance campaign on Indiegogo right now.
Okay, so the crunch is over. I mean, you funded.
Yeah.
But have you funded? Because there's.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the book 2 is 100% going to be made. There's no concern over that whatsoever. We're about halfway through making the second book. Now we're here to hopefully expand the readership, get some more readers in there, so that they all can be fulfilled at the same time with all of the Kickstarter people.
All right, so Tony, tell me what were your influences for this? I mean, what did you grow up reading and watching, and watching at the time when something hit you in the head says an alien detective in a crime noir?
It was a combination of things. One, I really love all of the old Hollywood movies from the 40s. I just love like the stage play kind of presence that they have in those scenes, like the rapid fire dialogue, all of the different slang that they have. I love books like The Big Nowhere, just really classic hard boiled detective stories. And then on the flip side, my dad is a very big horror buff. And one of the shows that he would watch was this little show called The X-Files. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Ring the bell.
Yeah, as a little kid, that show scared the hell out of me. And I thought I was very entertained by it. So as I got older and I started getting into comics, I wanted to do a detective murder mystery. And it seemed like doing teaming up a human with an alien and kind of having very kind of spooky alien sci-fi set in this 1940s world was a great combination of 2 of my favorite passions.
Did you ever I know you mentioned the X-Files on this. Did you ever watch a show called Kolchak?
No, I've not heard of that.
Okay. You've seen A Christmas Story.
Yes.
So you know the old man,
Mhm.
Darren McGavin. He played Kolchak the Night Stalker,
Mm.
and he was a reporter, and it was a very short-lived series, but it was like a cult classic. This would be in the 70s.
Hmm.
Uh, and he was like, just this report's like, I know monsters are out there. I know aliens are out there. And he'd always encounter it, but no one, he was always the kook, the nut,
Hmm.
uh, who was always proven right, at least to the viewers of the show. It was very inspirational to the X Files, actually. But
That sounds
that's
cool.
kind of what this more reminds me of because it's it's older
Hmm.
and it's closer in time to something like Kolchak was. Uh,
For sure.
Wayne knows what I'm talking about. Wayne and I watched a lot of the same shows. I've got that in my Amazon cart because I've got to have the DVD set. It's worth the watch. It's an afternoon binge for the whole thing.
What was it called again? Sorry.
Kolchak,
Col
Kolchak.
Kolchak.
Uh,
Okay.
and it really wasn't even a series. It was sort of like a collection of Monday night movies,
Mhm.
like the Columbo movies were.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, he just Kolchak, the Night Stalker, and here was an adventure with him.
Hmm. That sounds cool.
It's I think you would like it. All kinds of different monsters and aliens would show up in that. Um,
Yeah. Anything
but in your
anything
world,
anything old timey, I'm really just a sucker for. So
oh yeah, this is the Maltese Falcon, or I guess more close to Sam Spade, any of the
mhm.
Sam Spade novels with a gray alien thrown into the mix.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
now,
Yeah. We have a really kind of full commitment to the noir genre and trying to figure out how to bring the alien sci-fi elements into it without pushing aside like the noir setting that we have.
yeah, and your bad guy, your the killer is an alien, also shape changing alien.
Mhm.
No one knows that, I
Yeah.
believe, except for your human detective Alan, um, and his partner, who he knows to be this gray alien.
Yes. Yep, and they over the 6 books, they're trying to figure out which one of Alan's fellow detectives is this shapeshifter, and as they're trying to figure that out, more of Alan's fellow detectives are getting picked off one by one by this shapeshifter.
Well, that will narrow the field down
Yeah,
at some point. Like, only
yes,
one of you guys left. It's got to be you now. Um,
yeah. On the last book, they narrow it they narrow it down.
yeah. So, that's the shapeshifter thing. That always it makes me think about the choices that a shapeshifter makes. Like why always go back to the same person? Like they did this in Justice League,
Mhm,
um, with Jean Jones when they finally gave him a secret identity, and he was John Jones, police detective.
mhm.
And then at some point you figured out, oh, because he's a shapeshifter, he's actually got several identities he maintains uh, across the world, so he can do different things. Like, yeah, that's more what I would do if I was a shapeshifter. I would never be the same guy twice in a day or two days in a row.
The
Um,
a good way to keep yourself concealed.
yeah, be moving around like Azazel in Fallen. Just
Okay.
move from body to body as you touch. It would definitely um, make it harder, I think, for the detective to track you down. Um,
Yeah.
is so is there science behind the shapeshifter in your world? I mean, when I say science, I mean rules that you've set that you adhere to, like, well, he can shape into this body because he killed this person and he absorbed their DNA, so that's the form he can take on. Um, or is he just, what I see, I can become? What are the limitations on this?
I there are not limitations on what the shapeshifter can become, but the shapeshifter does choose a specific officer that is really kind of left under the reader's nose the entire time. So that when you see the reveal, you're like, "Oh, I was not even paying attention to that character as being a possible suspect."
We are
Uh,
now. Now
yeah,
everybody's suspect.
yeah. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I mean, the shapeshifter has the capacity to look like anybody, but specifically chooses to look like somebody specific because they get access to, with all the police files and records and is able to kind of stay one step ahead of the detectives.
is there um is there anything you can reveal about motives as to why this murderous alien is being murderous? What does
Um,
he want?
well, the second book gives you the motive of what this shapeshifter is after. I don't want to spoil what that is, but the second book definitely tells you that. But as far as you as the reader, all you can tell from the beginning is that the shapeshifter wants to remove the heart of its victims, and we want to know why that is early on. But motive specifically as to what could be more beyond that, the second book really dives into.
Okay, so that could be anything from a revenge killing on all of them for like a Roswell crash to one of you guys has a sequence of DNA that we really need.
Mm,
So still wide open field as to motives,
yeah.
and
But,
it's just, or do we know or can we know if it's him acting alone, or is this like an advanced scout for an alien invasion force?
man, I can't. I want to answer that question, but I can't answer that question because
Okay,
if I say one or the other, it narrows down like what the what the plot might be. But yeah.
because I like the idea that he's a serial killer who's an alien, and he's a serial killer because he's a serial killer.
Mhm,
He doesn't have to be working for the Armada.
mhm,
He doesn't have to be reporting back to the mothership. Some
yeah.
some aliens just want to watch the world burn, right? it's
I will say the motive is it's very targeted. There's not just this big kind of expansive reasoning. It's very specific to what the shapeshifter wants.
okay. Um, and why is I don't have the name for your alien
Ellis,
character. I'm sorry,
Ellis, Ellis,
Ellis.
Ellis Tate. Yep.
So I'll try to remember that now. But what is Ellis's motivation? Is he just a cop?
Ellis wants to recover the weapon that is it's a tool. It's a surgical tool that is being used to remove the hearts of their victims. And
Okay.
for ulterior motives that I don't want to spoil, there are reasons why Ellis has a vested interest in getting this tool back.
Okay. So he doesn't really care about the criminal. He wants the gun.
Yeah, but it's that yeah,
So,
he's after the tool that's being used to commit these crimes.
okay, that's got to be frustrating for Al. Does Alan know this?
Alan is made aware of this device in the second book. Um, he learns more about how it's used as the story goes on.
Okay. It's just, most cops, they want to stop the crime, and this guy's just, yeah, I just want the weapon. Like, if he had a batleth with him, he's like, well, I got the heart remover omatic. It's here. I've got it. Use the knife all you want. I'm done. I'm going home. Be like, well, wait, he's still killing people. You're a cop. You're a detective. No, actually, I'm not. I'm just wearing a hat and hanging around you. Um,
Yeah, I would say our aliens. I guess I think kind of a big reason that they do what they do and how they do it has a lot to do with maintaining their secrecy. So kind of having an alien tool out in the wild, it might reveal too much about certain aliens that are inhabiting Los Angeles. Los Angeles.
oh, well, there's lots of aliens inhabiting Los Angeles, but
Mhm,
and yeah, a lot of them are armed. So, timely.
mhm,
Is there any aliens grow up in a different culture. They have different mores. They have different motivations. Like we're seeing Ellis, he's most interested in the gun. It's not really so much the crime as what's being committed with. But does that open up the door for any kind of character growth? Like I've hung around humans so long that it's rubbed off on me now. I actually have empathy for the victims of these crimes, and now I have to find. I won't rest until I stop the guy. Now, thanks, Alan. You've corrupted me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the relationship between Alan and Ellis definitely is. It has a lot of buddy cop moments throughout the series. Ellis is very just I'm here for a very specific mission, and the nuance of police work that Alan kind of brings to the table. Ellis starts to kind of pick up on and learn from, and realizes that Ellis can't just have a direct line to getting what they want, what Ellis wants. but needs to kind of work with Alan and trust Alan, and it has to be kind of a mutual exchange for them to solve this murder.
Okay. Now, there's something about Alan that's different from other human beings, or at least many other human beings, in that he knows Ellis is an alien. He doesn't just know it; he was able to tell it. He could see it,
Mhm,
while everyone else sees Ellis as a human.
mhm.
Can you go into what is there about Alan?
Um, yeah, that why Alan can see Ellis's alien form and everyone else can see a human, that is another spoilery part, but the story 100% answers that question, and I think there's a very satisfying answer for that question.
Alan's the guy that got. No, no. I was going to throw something stupid out there. Alan's the ultimate victim. That's who he was going after. No, I won't. I won't put you on the spot like that.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
but okay. So that'll be interesting to follow up because it it if there's something unique about a human and it allows them to interact with aliens, the first thing you start thinking of is X Files. Alien human hybrid kind of things.
Mhm.
Um, does any of this? That's the 40s, and Roswell was, I believe, early 50s. Um, does any of it tie together, other than the fact that Ellis is a gray alien that looks like what was reportedly dropped in Roswell later on?
Well, Roswell actually, that was, for 46, 47. The first book actually, makes reference to the Roswell crash.
Okay, so it's a
Um,
late 40s book.
yeah, it's a late yeah, yeah, it's, late 1947. I think the Roswell crash was, like, the summer of 47.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so it gets mentioned in the first book, just
Oh,
kind of
so
as
it's
a
probably a direct relation at some point.
yeah. So, yeah, its relation to the Roswell crash, I think it's those pieces start to fall together as the books goes on.
Okay. Now,
Mhm.
I, I,
It's
I know I'm
it's really
back on
hard to
this
like,
book.
it's hard to keep
I
spoilers.
know.
Like I want to
I know.
explain the whole thing, but then you won't read it.
Once you're here for book 5, we can talk about first 2 books maybe
Yeah. Mhm.
in detail. I know I backed this, so I'll be
Yeah.
waiting
100.
for
Yeah.
stuff to come in.
100%. The second book. Thank you for backing that. During the Kickstarter, he backed it.
That's where it was. Okay. I'm
Mhm.
like looking at the campaign, like, where's my backing at? Because I had to get both books. I've got to read up on this one. This is um,
For sure.
it's definitely got me interested. Our watchers are dropping off because we have a thunderstorm going across the country, and it's
Oh no.
apparently starting to lightning where our viewers are at. So Wayne, thanks you for popping in. Glad you were here. Mike, I know you're out there somewhere as well. Be safe with your internet. Um, we'll continue on because people will come back for the replays on this. And
Cool.
if you are here for the replay, right below the video here is the link to the Indiegogo for the second chance, which is this right here. So let's take a look at what you've actually got here in this second chance campaign.
Mhm.
Um, we're gonna skip past the thank you page. You get on
Mhm.
the thank you page. That's you know you donated. We appreciate that. We always do. Uh, but the first real one is the digital copy of the book here,
Yep. Second book. Yep.
and it's 46 pages. So
Yeah. This
is
is
this a
for
PDF?
Yeah, this one's a PDF. This is for the second book only. If you are a new reader, there are 2 tiers, one's physical, one's digital. They're a little ways down. Yeah, this
Okay.
is,
I
yeah,
know it's a dumb question to ask if it's a PDF, but I know there are actually other methods now that people are using to distribute digital comics and like access codes and
mhm. Yeah, so the physical copies, they always have, extra things like, pencils from the artist, some concept art, kinda wanna show you the making of, so you get the story, and on top of that, you get a bunch of production insight into how we made the book. But
well
this
for
is
for
for yeah.
25 bucks you get the basic book, so
So yeah, this is
easy.
for new readers. This is your first entry point. This is the digital tier where you get both books. As soon as the campaign is done, I will send emails out for the digital PDF for the first book. So you'll get to read the first book right away. So yeah.
Now, you said you're about halfway through the second book here, as
Mhm,
we're into the second chance on the funding of it.
mhm,
I know there's so many schools of thoughts about funding a comic. Mine is that if I could afford to make the comic ahead of time, I wouldn't have to fund it. But there's also, people say, "Hey, if you're not 80% done with the book, you shouldn't even start a campaign."
mhm.
Where I was gonna say, where do you fall in? It's obviously you fall on the I need to make the money to raise the money to pay the artist kind of side of things. But
Yeah, I mean, it's the only way for the book to even exist in the first place. I mean, I have enough out of pocket money to kind of put the idea together and put the team together and give you a good sense of what our vision is. But for the full book to actually exist, it's impossible to have it done or almost done before we start crowdfunding. So we do have to crowdfund and then make the book. I hope one day, as my readership kind of expands, would love to kind of have books done ahead of time.
I really, really like your artist on this. Is this the same guy on covers as in interiors?
Yep, everybody, yeah, everything's the same art, same colors, same letterer from the cover. That's in the interiors as well. This cover here is inspired by the poster for the Maltese Falcon. If you look at the Maltese Falcon movie poster, you'll see the homage to it. But these guys are incredible. I mean, they have such a deep knowledge of their craft. Every time they send me pencils or colors or letters, "wow" is the first word that is usually out of my mouth when I look at those emails.
I'm sitting here being drawn into the female form because like most comic book guys, oh, the chicks are really drawn cool. I'm gonna look at that. But I'm like, why am I being drawn into this face? What is it? And then I realized it's not just that the eyes are purple, uh, but they're cat.
Hmm.
They're feline. Um, so are there other aliens in here other than Ellis and the guy we're
Yeah.
tracking down?
Yes, sir. And book two really shows you that there are more aliens living in Los Angeles, and you can tell from her eyes that maybe she may not be human.
So this is sort of leading up into first generation Men in Black kind of scene.
But yeah, with more of a kind of a grounded seriousness to it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, Men in Black was
Yeah,
comedic in
more,
a lot of ways,
yeah,
uh, but this was treating it straight and
yeah, yeah.
serious. I just more reasons to like it, people.
Yeah, the white.
And
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
no, I'm just I keep drawing parallels to the different shows that I like, and that's just it. Everything I'm drawing a parallel to is something that I like, so it's just making me like it more. Um, one of my favorite television series, and looking back at it, it's a little cheesy, but I'll still watch it again. Alien Nation. Um,
Yeah, I've
with,
never seen that. I've people have mentioned it to me before because of Star Noir, but I've not seen it. It was a TV show and a movie.
well, it was a movie that yeah, it spawned off the TV show. Different actors on the TV show, slightly different premise on the TV show.
Hmm.
Um, I would recommend. I've seen the movie, and I was a fan of the TV show. I was not a fan of the movie.
Okay.
Um, I thought, well, the TV show being having so many more episodes, uh, you really got to learn more about the characters with each adventure. And it was made back in the day when a 1 hour episode wrapped up a 1 hour story. There wasn't, like you got to watch the entire season to get the big bad, and then we kick off into the no. It
Hmm.
was it was just bad guy every episode.
Nice.
Um,
Very self-contained.
yeah, very, very self-contained. It had elements of an ongoing story that were there. Because the the reason they're on Earth is because the ship that was carrying them crashed, and there were two races. They're the same race, but there were two castes. There were slaves and overseers,
Hmm.
and the overseers they're still out there, and the people who came over as slaves are scared to death of them. So you'll always see like hints of oh, this guy was one of the slavers. They're reorganizing somewhere. They're going to do something, even though it's been years. Uh,
Hmm.
this is not about the Cleason Soon, and yeah, I remember the show enough to put the clicks in the words that they talk with. but it was
I definitely have to check out the show. I mean, it's been mentioned to me quite a number of times, so I should definitely watch it at some point.
it's nothing like what you've got. So
Mhm.
don't think that, people shouldn't say, "Oh, yeah, you're ripping off Alien Nation." No, no, it's
Yeah.
just other than the fact that there's an alien who's a cop, um,
Okay.
it's there are aliens all over the place, and everyone knows it. I mean, um, and they've all got names, uh, people came over to Ellis Island, uh, people checking immigrants in couldn't say their names, so they gave them names. It's how you have so many Smiths and so many Jones. Um, same thing happened here. The
Okay.
detective's name is Sam Francisco. Um,
I like
yeah,
that.
Sam Francisco. The janitor's name at the police station. He's not the brightest. He's a lovable guy. He's Albert Einstein. Um,
Nice. I
yeah,
like
so
this.
all that stuff is all over the place. But we're talking about uh, Ellis and Allen here,
Mhm.
and why you want to get these books and why you should get these books. Um,
Yeah, the white shoe slang here, that's the 2 physical books. We spare no expense when it comes to the physical copy. We want that to be high quality. If we have a high quality story with a high quality art team, this is how we bring it home, by sending you a high quality book.
Yeah. Something else I noticed about your artists is that they're consistent in the representation. If you look at cover one and cover two, time has passed between the two of them. Alan still has a black eye and a bandage on his chin from the fight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the book 2, it picks up immediately where book 1 left off. It's like it's the same day. They partnered up, and then the book ends, and then book 2, we join right up back with them later that day.
And this looks
Uh,
like
yeah, that's Stella. She's the person with the interesting eyes on the cover. Yeah, she's a lounge singer at the club called the Dragon Room. And Alan and Ellis have a meeting with her because they want to know about the abandoned Silver Starlight that was left on the 6th Street Bridge at the beginning of book 1. And she has information about it, and she's also hiding a personal secret of her own that Alan gets to see. And it's a very intense, very spoilery scene. So much so for my Kickstarter updates, I had to remove a couple of pages just so
oh,
I wouldn't spoil people ahead of time. But yeah,
Alan's having his eyes open to a lot.
yes, yeah. This second book, he is. It's kind of like the last gasp to dismiss the alien things that he's seeing, and then he meets Stella, and after that, he does not need any further convincing.
Oh, I wouldn't either. I mean, I was sitting here wondering now, what's the tier that I back? What's the tier that I back? Oh yeah, this would have been the tier that I backed. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
now,
Uh,
so
yeah,
this is the one with the 6x9 pinup.
yeah, we loved recreating 1940s pinup art of the time. It's fully inspired. Just the way she's holding the dress, the pose. Yeah, all even the way it's colored is inspired by 1940s pinup art.
And it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
I saw the bigger picture of it. It's probably scrolling down here. We'll see it. Um, and we'll slowly go through here a little bit so you can see the action pages here, folks. This is the sense of timing from the actions that are taking place. Uh, this is, these are people who know what they're doing with comics.
yeah. I love this scene. I love the way it came out. I mean, the first time I saw just pencils, I was like, wow, this is gonna be a good one. This whole scene, now the scene is fully complete, fully lettered. To just read the whole thing together, it's a pretty intense scene. It's a pretty intense way to start the book, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, so the guy's being chased by the alien shapeshifter. You can not, and what I'm going to point out is look at the feet, the claws on this reptilian kind of thing here. The guy's running and gets to his car. Uh, you want to assume that he's getting it going and that that's him going. This is no longer a clawed foot, but it's very obviously the foot of the person who was stalking him.
Hmm. Yep.
Uh, and that's something else that always got me about shape changers is that they shape their clothes are their body.
Yeah.
It's like hang your hat up. I kind of can't. It's kind of growing out of my head. Um,
It's a little bit
I
like
figured
it's a little bit like the T1000. You just like the whole thing is just part of you.
Yeah. Yeah, he can't really disconnect. Well, maybe you can disconnect parts and reabsorb them back, but it
Mhm.
seemed like it would hurt.
Yeah, this is our introduction to Stella Belafonte at the Dragon Room. She sings a very funny torch song about poisoning her husband. And then as soon as that is wrapped, that's when Alan and Ellis have a very intense interrogation scene with her.
Very nice. I dig the gloves.
Yeah.
I've always loved the look of elbow length gloves on lounge singers. Um,
Yeah, and this is when Alan meets a private detective named Louis Simpson, who is holding information about Patrick Perkins, the gentleman who was killed in the beginning of book one. Um, he is withholding information about that because Patrick Perkins' wife very correctly assumes that one of the LAPD killed her husband, so does not want to trust any officers.
to go smash up his car to get him to talk, and then the classic scene of
Yes.
being sucked up into a flying saucer.
Y-
I don't know if this is Ellis's or somebody else's, but
yeah, I
I'm
don't
just
I don't want to I don't want to spoil the context of this scene too much. But yeah, the as we get to the end of book two, the tension really just ratchets up, and it has a very explosive ending.
and this is a more mature book here. I'm not not like mature, but there's blood and guts.
Hmm.
Um, this guy's been pretty much exsanguinated with his
Hmm.
heart pulled out his chest. Ribs are just like sticking
Yeah.
out of him because that's what happens when you reach in and pull back out.
Yeah, that's the early crime scene from the first book where we and there's the starlight that they're going to ask Stella about in the second book.
Yeah, and that's the model of the car.
Yeah, Studebaker.
It, nice choice of vehicle for a book of this type. It have a starlight.
Yeah, yeah. I was looking up different car names just to try to pick what the car is in the beginning, and then when I saw starlight, I was like, ooh, that's a freebie.
There you go. I always wanted to get my hands on a Rolls Royce Phantom
Yeah,
because it looks exactly like the animated Batman Batmobile. It's
yeah,
a football field in length in front of the windshield.
yeah,
It just keeps on going.
for sure.
Um,
Hmm.
so here we have Ellis in his spacesuit, their first meeting, and this is where we see the beat up Alan come back. Now he's coming in here holding a gun at the new detective um,
Yep. Yep. This is
because
the
he saw him through the door.
Yeah, he sees his captain talking to the same alien that he saw in his backyard, and he wants to rush in and and kill him, and then ends up seeing this young kid instead, and wants to understand why this kid wants to hang around him.
Yeah, and
It's because
part of
he's an
the
alien.
yeah, it's because he's an alien. Here are the postcards. You got the 11 by 17 cover poster available here,
Hmm.
um, which is down
Yeah,
here, I think. Um, and it's a great looking poster. So much so that I actually made it the poster on the thumbnail for the
yeah,
video.
I saw that. That's cool.
Throw it
Um,
in here.
Yeah, and there's also all of the items that we had in the first book for the first campaign. Those are all available as add-ons. So there's like a poster from the first book, the kind of original one that's behind me over here, over my shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have
I
that
can see
one.
this.
You can get that as 11 by 7. Yeah, there we go.
Here it is.
That one over there.
Okay.
That's the cover of the first book. And you can get that as an add-on if you'd like. There's also baseball cards that we made of different officers. There's like a police badge on the front, and on the back, it's got character stats and which sidearm that they use. There's specific reasons why they use different types of guns. And then also we do prints, panel prints from the first book as well. One of which you're also getting because you backed it during a week when I was doing a promo for that. It was
Ah, double win for me.
it was this one here.
Let me, hang on. Big shot coming. Oh, that's beautiful. That looks like a photograph print. I mean, not a photograph art, but it looks like because it's so shiny and stiff, it looks like it's Polaroid
Yeah.
material.
Yeah, so that one's coming to you for free. So yeah,
Thank you.
that's Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. If you're a new reader and you just want to jump in, there's a physical tier to get both books, or there's a digital tier to just get digital copies.
Th- Again, I'm just blown away by everything that's on here. No, nobody reads past down here. I,
That's why I put all the data stuff at the bottom.
yeah. So the Maltese Falcon is the highest tier for $110, folks.
Yeah.
You're going to get your name in the book, hard copy of book two. You're going to get. um, I want to make sure I don't overstate it. I almost said hard copy of both. That's not the case here.
No, no,
But you're
yeah.
going to get the extra posters, the pin up, the postcards. Um,
And if you want the
that,
first book, you can add it as an add-on. That's
yeah.
possible to
Um,
any of these tiers, except for the white.
Obviously, shipping out in Gemini mailers. You're going to put the posters in tubes. That's good.
Yep. Yep. Keep it all very safe.
Now, I know you said it's I'm going to say I know you said it was a 6-issue series. I can't remember now whether it was 6 or 5. I want to say it was 6.
6. Yep.
Uh, and you're only 2 in, but have you had any inkling at all about another adventure with these 2 detectives? Or is that it? Is stories told, we're done.
Well, not. I don't want to spoil anything, but I mean, I do have plans for Star Noir beyond this 6-issue book, 6-issue series. There's a lot more to do with this concept, and we perhaps explore other time periods, other cities, and
Could be other
bring
characters.
yeah,
It doesn't have to be
and
these same 2 leads.
yeah. Yeah, I don't want to say what those ideas are, but there's definitely a different story that I definitely would like to explore after Alan and Ellis's story gets wrapped up.
I, I'd love to see 1940s alien mobsters. All the ethnic groups that emigrated came with families. There were
Mhm.
families that were in them.
Family.
Why should the Venusians not have a family to take care of business for the other Venusians,
Yeah.
and keep the streets orderly and neat, and have an inside person with the cops? And uh, do do we see any? Will we see any? Well. Let me put it like this: we know that we're going to see Ms. Belafonte, and that she's an alien and she's a lounge singer. So she's sort of in a gray area between good person, bad person. You're just kind of like you're in both worlds.
Mm.
Will we see aliens from both sides of the moral spectrum?
I mean, yeah, I think you do. I think Ellis represents one side of the spectrum. I think people like Stella. I think Stella operates kind of in the middle, like you said, and I think our shapeshifter. Once you get to the full reasoning behind why they do what they do, you definitely see the other side of that, and it's polar opposite to Ellis.
And then we're going to see more and more aliens as the story unfolds here.
For sure.
Will we see any? You're in Los Angeles. It's 1947.
hmm
Will we see any familiar characters from pop culture?
Yes, the third book. I don't. We say who it is in book two. In the third book, we actually go to a studio lot and we meet a very very famous, very recognizable person, while they're making a very famous movie that we all remember from that time.
You know, there's there is a comic book series out there, um, with a very famous person in the late 1940s who's fighting aliens
Mhm.
on occasion, and I would love to see, um, not a crossover, I guess, because I don't like crossovers that interfere with stories, but like a one shot, um, with Ellis and Allen and Betty Page.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Because the Dynamite books have had Betty Page being basically an agent of the government who's investigating UFOs and aliens and such, um,
I'd
on,
love
on
to
on the sly when she's not modeling and making films. Um,
That could be a fun crossover for sure.
I,
Yeah.
I I know the guy you'd have to talk to make that happen.
Okay.
Gray Wolf Graphics, thank you for popping in, man. Encourage you to check out this Second Chance campaign here for Star Noir. If you just got here and you haven't seen what we're talking about, it's yeah. Oh, well, yeah, Dave Stevens. Well, Dave Stevens is the classic Betty Page artist, but unfortunately, Dave passed a long time ago from cancer. He's the
Mm.
one who basically brought her to the attention of the comic book world again, though, after decades of being in obscurity. But yeah, the folks over at Dynamite might be up for an indie crossover kind of deal. Um, that's up to you. You work that out. And in fact, Dave Stevens is such a great artist that he did a series. Well, he did covers for both Crossfire and DN Agents back in the day, and he did a pinup of Rainbow, which was one of the DN Agents characters, where she's in this lingerie, she's got the leg pulled up, she's doing the classic pose, almost like the one you got there, and it is an 36 by 24 poster in a frame on my wall right there next to me. It is not going anywhere.
That's awesome.
He did a gorgeous Marilyn Monroe and Crossfire cover too. That was just there was nobody like Dave Stevens. Uh, Tony, we are coming up to the top of the hour here, so I don't want to press you for any more spoilers because I know I'm already at the edge of questions where anything else is gonna I can't answer that. I won't answer that. You can't make me.
Oh, I didn't mention if you are a new reader on the campaign page itself, there is a link to read the first 9 pages of book 1 for free. So if you're curious about what's the Star Noir, what's this all about, you can definitely read the first 9 pages. And I'm convinced you'll enjoy what you read in those first 9 pages.
Absolutely. All right. Tony, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. Do appreciate you being here. Love the concept, folks. I backed it, so I'm full throatedly saying you should too. Check it out. Everyone in the chat, thank you guys for being here tonight. We don't have a show without you, so we're glad you're here. And while you were here, of course, and Tony, stick around afterwards. I want to talk to you.
Okay.
But while you guys were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.
Yeah.